Hey there, it's David from Assimilate. So, I want to show you something we're working on. It is early days, but I'm really excited by it. One of the big key issues that we hear people talk about is that they don't know what they're vulnerable to with AI. And it's the reason they don't roll out things like ChatGPT and Co-Pilot. And so what we've been working on is a Copilot and Microsoft specific security and vulnerability check for AI systems, Copilot. So can you actually roll it out? And I think this is really nice because we've now developed a plug and play API that sits in an Azure environment, and it literally is just set up a resource group, set up a managed identity, set up a app service, and you can run this thing with a little bit of integration from our side. And so what are you going to get? And so the report we're building is this is rudimentary, and you can see we're missing some data, which we're working on, but we were going to be able to list all of the Copilot enabled users and what type of plans that they have, what SharePoint access controls they have, and what cross-tenant access they have. And we'll do a little risk assessment in there and some security recommendations. This will all be dynamic based off of a agent that can have a look at this report as well. And it's really simple for the way that it works is that we have an endpoint called Copilot Security. We execute the API, we go and check our logs, and we can see that it's been working. So collecting Copilot AI security, getting a service plan mapping. So we've got stuff in here that takes the type of naming and assigns that to plan IDs. We are checking for specific Copilot connectors, and we are returning and printing some of the statuses and some of the connection availability. So the things that we have found is that getting credentials to match local and cloud was a little bit problematic because of the ways that the permissions need to be set to see certain security and certain sort of sharing settings. I think that the Graph API there's a few quirks in there as well. Also, partial visibility is really quite frustrating, and being able to manage the total permissions, even Copilot couldn't give me a really accurate answer to give me all the endpoints that I needed. So we're working on getting all of those done. So there's a lot of testing and iterating. But what we have ended up with is a really simple API endpoint that can return a full report that you can then go and use and take to your board and say, look, we have these people enabled with Copilot, but did you know that they've got all this data hanging around? And that's kind of what we're trying to get to here. And there's a few technical issues that we had where some auths were not working properly and stuff, which is to be expected. This is a very auth and permission-based piece of technology. And I would even say the logic isn't particularly complicated here. What's complicated is figuring out how to manage all of the different settings that are enabled and getting that data structure out into a legible way that can offer you next steps. But if you want any help with stuff like this, or you find this interesting, please just give us a shout. It'd be really great to get your opinion on whether this is something that you would use. But I hope that this was helpful and that you can see what's possible with turning security permissions and user APIs into a neat little report that you can go and share with your team.